Hi everyone, brand new information on what will likely be Hurricane Helene in the Gulf with now an earlier landfall over what looks to be Florida. Hi everybody, I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Justus, keeping you up to date on this system. We're watching it closely because it will pack a strong punch, possibly even 100-mile-per-hour winds. If you will, please let me know in the comment section where you're watching from right now, and if you're new to this channel, please go ahead and subscribe. My jam is to always keep you posted when it comes to severe weather. Severe weather is my specialty. Been doing it for 20 years. Whether it's on TV or here online, I will let you know what's coming your way so you and your family can prepare. And in this case, looks like a hurricane. We now have an 80% chance of a named tropical system forming in the tropics here over the next few days. You can see the area highlighted in red right there is something we've got to watch. You can see it now has an 80% chance from the National Hurricane Center. Yeah, we're watching these other areas, but they do not appear to be threats to the United States. All this is a cluster of moisture right now that's trying to gather. It's in a very vulnerable spot, probably the most active area or region, most vulnerable region, if you will, in the whole tropics, the whole Atlantic basin. That's the warmest water. It's an area that puts us in the United States at a vulnerable position because of the way the winds usually flow and the steering currents go. Notice another feature up here. There is a front coming our way this week, which is going to act to steer this north. This is player number one. This is the main player right here that's going to steer this north as we move forward. So what do the new models say? Let's get right to it. I'm going to show you my trusty European model. It honestly has been playing catch up with the GFS from day one on this. So we have nothing really to look at. Scroll to the bottom of the screen here. We have nothing really to look at here until we get to, say, Tuesday afternoon, even really Tuesday night. This thing goes from nothing to something in a big hurry. There's our front. If I could draw the front on here, you'd see it right here, okay? So right there's a cold front. That's all this system needs to kind of nudge it north. You see 1,005 millibar low. That's a pretty weak, sloppy, low-pressure system. Probably not even a tropical storm. But here you go into Wednesday night. So from Wednesday morning to Wednesday night, we go from nothing to something really quickly. And as it's being scooped to the north, you see a big dip in the jet stream right here. That's got some really cool air behind it, by the way. This is steering this to the north, and it looks like it's got a beeline right for Florida, Georgia, and the Carolinas. Here we go Wednesday night, Thursday, getting close to Panama City Beach, getting close to Mexico Beach, areas that are still recovering from Michael from years ago. This 983 low on the European is now showing a hurricane. Before it was a weaker tropical storm, now looks to be a hurricane. This thing's kind of scooping it up. It's consolidating with another dip in the jet stream over here to where Thursday looks to be a landfall late that evening into the overnight hours. 7, 8, 9 o'clock. Rain's now spreading into Atlanta, into Columbia, into Greenville, getting closer to Charlotte, and this thing goes fast. If there's one silver lining here is that this system looks to be moving with some urgency here because it's caught up in this jet stream. So Thursday, things go downhill in this European. We start to see rain moving in as the day goes on. This scoops it right in. Looks to be a complete washout for your morning commute on Friday, with the system basically right over Atlanta, Georgia, sending in rain from the south. We'd have to look out for some gusty winds on Friday. And then Friday afternoon, Friday night. Boy, this is not great for football games. We've been there, done that this year. Boy, I hope we don't have to deal with that this time, but unfortunately it looks to be the case. It'll be that game again. Do we move the games? Do we keep the games? Well, right now, if this thing's telling us anything, it's going to be really, really coming down hard and heavy Friday morning into Friday night where it pulls away. Friday by 7, 8 o'clock, the system's over Kentucky. We're seeing the last of the rain, and boom, just like that, waking up to a beautiful weekend. So things do look to get better as we go into the weekend, but boy, what a Thursday, Friday that is. And this little model here is showing a little something we got to watch for Florida. Saturday evening could be another little weak tropical not even a low, I don't even know what you'd call it, just a little critter kind of going across central Florida to where Sunday could be wet across Orlando. Let's look closer at the winds on this. So peak winds in this European run are borderline tropical storm or Cat 1. It'd likely be a tropical storm in this scenario. But Friday afternoon, Friday evening, through Friday, I should say. So landfall is Thursday afternoon, Thursday evening. It's got 50 to 70, maybe right there at the core near Panama City Beach. There would be winds. Santa Rosa. I mean, we're kind of talking right in there, winds that could get close to 75 to 100 miles per hour. That'd be Cat 1, Cat 2 at the max on this European model. But the winds are really compact with that. They're right there at the surface. They're not spread out. But nonetheless, it would get really windy through the day on Friday for Atlanta, for Greenville. Winds could get 40, 50 miles per hour in this solution on the European model. Let's look at rainfall totals on the European model. Moving on through here. So the rain on the European would be through the day on Friday. This is manageable rain. This is 2 to 4 inches across the upstate with 3 to 4 back through Atlanta. This is the European. Let's look at the GFS. It's a bit more on the spicy side. It shows a very strong hurricane making landfall near Panama City and Destin, a little bit further to the west. What you're noticing here is the models are getting closer. Earlier this week, it was Louisiana to Tampa. All right, now it's, okay, Destin or Santa Rosa. Okay, so we're honing in Big Bend region to possibly coastal Alabama. That's kind of the gist of the models today. And we're honing in, is it a hurricane or is it a strong hurricane? This GFS would be a major hurricane, unfortunately. This GFS is a Cat 2, Cat 3. Wouldn't even be surprised with this being Cat 4. It moves it along the Georgia-Alabama line. Same exact timing as the European. Makes landfall Thursday around 7, 8 o'clock. Models are in great agreement here with the location and the timing. They're just not in great agreement on the strength. European continues to be mitigated. The GFS wants to really rapidly intensify this to a major hurricane. I mean, from something to nothing, from nothing to something in a hurry. So it goes up through Atlanta through the day on Friday, bringing in rain to the upstate. Friday afternoon, Friday evening will be the heaviest rain in the upstate. Then it fizzles out Friday night to where we're smooth sailing into the weekend with no issues remaining. How about wind speeds? Top wind speeds on the GFS model, 100 plus there at the landfall. Then those gusty winds move up through Atlanta where it quickly weakens to a tropical storm, but gusts up to 40 or 50 miles per hour. These are two models now showing that same thing for the upstate. All right, how about rainfall totals on the GFS? GFS wants to put more like 4 to 6 inches in the upstate through western North Carolina, banking on the fact that those mountains would wring out a lot more rain. And then Atlanta southbound would see 4 to 6, maybe even 7 inches of rain. So watching that. What about the Canadian model? Let's look at rainfall totals first. The Canadian model, it's a bit further to the west, makes landfall the same place, but then it kind of gets absorbed in this upper level feature right here to where most of the rain goes to Alabama and Mississippi, West Georgia. Doesn't quite get into the upstate. Let's see how this one evolves it. Go back to this. All right, rewind. It's a weaker feature, probably a tropical storm. Gets absorbed by that upper level piece of energy. This is about 6 hours earlier. It'd be Thursday mid-morning on the Canadian model, and it would move more toward Alabama. Pretty much the same, though, but this would put the heaviest rain in the upstate Thursday night instead of Friday, to where by Friday morning we're clearing up instead of Friday night. That's the Canadian. It's a bit more of a hurried scenario, and then things clear out behind that system on the Canadian model. What about the national blend of all the models? Kind of going with weaker winds toward Florida. How about the national blend of all the models on rain? Kind of a blend between that Canadian and European. It still shows 4+ inches in the upstate, and then 5 or so for Atlanta. Florida from Orlando to Tampa, through Cedar Key, up through Panama City. We're talking 5, 6, 7 inches. How about the Weather Prediction Center? This is NOAA's main branch. Similar to Canadian, honestly. You got the big feature here with the upper low, scooping this thing up, sending it into Panama City where you get 6 to 8 inches, up through Atlanta 2 to 4, and then up through the Western Carolinas 2 to 4. That'd be manageable rain. Then we look out. All right, so what about Helene? Some folks have been talking. What about Isaac? Well, let's get Helene even formed before we start talking about Isaac. But some of the models have hinted at a weak system right behind Helene. Doesn't look to be happening. I mean, European ensembles are a little more Canadian-ish, if you will, with kind of that slanted, kind of absorbing it toward the west here kind of look. But they've got it really destined westbound versus Panama City eastbound. All right, that moves on through. Not much else forms through October 2nd. So, folks, again, if you're new to this page, my goal with any severe weather or severe weather threats is to keep you posted. Whether it's on TV or online here, I love doing that. It's a passion of mine since I've been doing meteorology. I like to give you information that gives you the tools you need to make plans to keep your family safe, okay? So if you're new to this channel and you appreciate my kind of no-nonsense approach to weather forecasting, please consider subscribing to this channel. Please, again, let me know in the comment section where you're watching from. I truly appreciate you. I feel like it's an online community of family and friends that are just trying to figure out what in the world's going on during big weather events. So hope you have a good rest of your day. My commitment is to keep you posted, and I'll have another one of these updates as I know more.